Welcome. I'm Kelly Hendershot, the program director at Gilda's Club Quad Cities, and welcome back to another week of meditation with Angela Swanson. Just a quick housekeeping reminder, we do have an audience here that is live with us via Zoom. Again, the benefit if you're able to join us via Zoom is you have a few minutes before and after the meditation practice itself to chat with Angela, ask any questions about the practice that you have, and just get a little bit extra guidance about meditation. So in the description of this video, you will find the link to register for further meditation classes via Zoom. This will be offered weekly from 11:30 till about 12:15 on Thursdays until we are back in our clubhouse, which we are working on plans to reopen, but through all of June for sure, we are going to continue with our virtual platform. So if you have questions via Facebook, you can use the chat tools to enter those. I'll monitor that. And I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Angela now.
Mute myself. There. Can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you for inviting me back to lead meditation. I'm glad to see everybody. And hi, Teresa. So I thought we would talk today about something called the 5 senses countdown. This is a really powerful technique, and you can do it sitting with your eyes closed, or you can get used to trying it with your eyes open. And the thing I love about this practice is that it gets us into our body. So, and into the moment. So a lot of the times when we're stressed out or we're lost in the story of what's happening, or we're feeling anxiety, or we're in the heat of the moment, maybe even we're angry, and we just need a way to get peace, like a quick dose of peace. This is a really great practice. It's called the 5 senses countdown. And it's really good to know that our brain, that when we are out of peace or out of the moment or in our head or feeling anxiety, that we're actually in the part of the brain that is the fight or flight response. So it's in the older limbic system of our brain. And it's really important we have those instincts and those, the ability to quickly react and respond quickly to threats. But as we know, most of the threats that we're faced with these days are imagined. They're basically in our head. They're our thinking that's threatening us rather than what's actually happening in our physical environment. So again, when you find that you're in your head and stressed out, it's good to get out of that limbic system and into the prefrontal cortex of our brain. This is the CEO, the executive functioning of our brain, and where we can actually feel peace and make good decisions and take care of ourselves rather than just being very reactive. So a way to get to switch that is to come into the moment and engage with our senses. When you're sensing something, meaning touching, tasting, seeing, hearing, then you're in the moment. You're automatically in the moment, and you're in your body. So you're not out in sort of thinking land, or that headspace that can be sometimes very carry us away and cause us distress. Brings us right back into our body, where we can sense the fact that, right now everything's okay. Right now, there might be a lot of chaos and a lot of crisis and a lot of disturbing things happening in the world. But right now I can just tap into this place within me that I can get a tangible experience with the fact that I am okay. In this moment, I have everything I need and I'm okay. So that's why this is a peace finder practice, the 5 senses countdown, especially good for those of us who, when stressed, tend to flee or numb or hide or shut down. I don't know what your default reaction to stress is, but this one's mine. When I get overwhelmed, I just want to, shut down. I just want to get under the covers. I just want to go binge on Netflix. I just want to hide. Now, other people react opposite, where they want to fight. They want to engage, right? So you know, we can be both. We don't have to be one or the other, but I tend to be more of a flighter rather than a fighter. So this five senses countdown is really good for us who like to flee from our suffering, from our suffering. So I know that's not funny, but I just know myself. So I hope this helps you. And like I said, you can do this eyes closed when you're sitting and you want to practice this at home with a seated meditation, or you can do this as you're walking around outside, taking a walk outside. This is a really cool thing to do as you walk, taking a walk around the park or your neighborhood or the woods or wherever you happen to be walking. Because nature is a perfect place to really engage your senses. You know, we tend to walk through the world and just let you know, not notice the beauty that's all around us. Sometimes we're so lost in our thoughts that we're completely missing some amazing things that nature is just sitting there doing for us. You know, just the generosity of nature just right there in front of us. So we'll just get started and try this together and we'll see how it goes. And then we can talk about it after we're done. So I'm going to ask you to keep your eyes open for this first part, and then I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. So as long as you feel like you're sitting comfortably, you're ready to go. So I'll give you a moment to just find yourself sitting comfortably, knowing that the very first step in meditation is to be comfortable. You don't have to sit a certain way. You don't have to sit, you know, with your legs crossed and in a yoga position. You don't have to sit on the floor. You don't have to sit on a cushion. You should be sitting up rather than laying down for this, so you don't take a nap instead of meditation. But other than that, as long as you're feeling comfortable and your back is supported, that's the most important thing. So we'll just begin by feeling your body where it is. Just start to notice your body with your eyes open. Like if your feet are on the floor, maybe connect with the feeling of the feet connected to the floor. Just feeling how that feels. Notice how your rear end is sitting in the chair. Notice that support you have underneath you. Just kind of locate your body in the room. Get a sense of yourself and where you are right now. And then with your eyes open, I want you to look around your environment and look at five things, just the first 5 things that you notice. And I want you to just say this silently to yourself, just name it. So I see my windowsill. Just name 5 things that you see. And then I want you to find one thing that is super subtle that you probably would overlook if you weren't trying to look for it. So it could be maybe a subtle light, how it's hitting the chair, or just a shadow, something really subtle. What are you noticing? Just one thing, 1 or 2 things. We're really just taking in what we're seeing. Just kind of get a sense of how that feels in your body when you're really seeing something. And maybe even there's appreciation, surprise, wonder. Maybe something you're seeing makes you uncomfortable. Whatever you're feeling in the body is normal and natural for you right now. That's fine. We're not trying to change it. We're just trying to relate to our senses and how we feel. So now I would invite you to close your eyes. And we'll notice 4 things that you hear. And again, listening and just naming it to yourself. What am I hearing right now? 4 things that you hear. And now notice one thing that you're hearing that's very subtle, very faint, something you would overlook had you not been paying attention, that you wouldn't even notice. Maybe it's the sound of your own breath. I don't know. One subtle thing you hear. Good. And now we'll go to the sense of touch. So 3 things that you're using your sense of touch that you're feeling. So this doesn't mean you're actually physically touching anything, although it can be, but it could just be where the fabric of your clothing is meeting your skin, or feeling the air on your cheek, or the hair on your neck. 3 things that you're feeling or touching. And just name them one by one. And then one thing again that's very subtle. The breath in your nose is engaging your sense of touch. That could be subtle. Good. And then 2 things that you smell. It could be your cologne or your shampoo from this morning, or laundry, the dryer sheets that are remaining on your shirt. There's 2 things that you smell, and then one thing that's very, very subtle, very faint. See if you can pick up on one thing that's very subtle. Very good. And then one thing that you taste. So you're always tasting. Your sense of taste is always engaged and working. It's just sometimes we're just lingering. Something's lingering in our mouth. So what's lingering on your tongue or in your mouth that you can taste right now? And then again, try to find something even subtler. Not so easy to notice. Very good. And now I'd like you to open up all of your senses at once. Even though your eyes are closed, you can still sense something visual behind your eyelids. So what do you see? And what do you hear? And what do you touch? And what do you smell? And what do you taste? Just open up your senses all at once. Just notice how your body's feeling now. Your senses are alive and engaged, and you are in your body. You're in this moment. And your five senses are what wakes up your sixth sense, your intuition. So when we can walk through the world with our senses engaged, we get a lot more information than we realize. A lot more information is available to us through our senses versus just using our analytical brain. And we don't even realize it sometimes. But this is just a nice practice to get us back in touch with our senses, befriending them and letting them serve us, help us, comfort us. Just notice how you're feeling now in this moment in your body. Your senses are alive and engaged. Here you are. And just notice, do you sense a feeling of peace? Can you connect to this moment knowing that right here, right now, I have everything that I need and that I am okay? I can allow my mind to rest. I can be in my body. I can be in this moment and just be, and find a lot of comfort in that. So let's bring our attention to our breath in the nose. We'll just do a little breath awareness before we end our practice. We'll breathe in for 4 through our nose, and then hold for 4, and then breathe out for 4, and then hold for 4. This is called the box breath. Do a few rounds of this, let the body relax even more. Breathing in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. Very good. And again, checking in, noticing how your body's feeling from the inside out. It's acknowledging that here you are in this moment. You've arrived. And that this is where peace is found. And this is where our life is lived. And now I invite you to bring to mind something that you appreciate about your life, about this moment, about how you're feeling. Just sense into that. Sense the feeling of gratitude and appreciation for this thing, whatever it is for you. And we'll just do 3 more breaths together. And on the inhale, I want you to take in deeper this thing that you're appreciating. And on the exhale, I want you to imagine yourself giving it away. So on the inhale, you're receiving what you're appreciating. And on the exhale, you're giving it away. So inhaling together and exhaling. And inhaling and exhaling. And inhaling and exhaling. I'll ring the bell to signify the end of our practice, and you can take your time opening your eyes.
We all start to come back into our awareness, opening our eyes. We are going to say goodbye to our Facebook crowd, and we will see you all again next week.